41 months after I posed the original question, the Simply Good Foods company has finally given me the answer I've been waiting for. Instead of making you wait until later before I decode that introductory statement, how about we cut the crap and just jump right into it? And maybe the best way to do that is by sharing a clip from my early January 2021 content.
That the Simply Good Foods company will eat or be eaten in the next year. So this is one of those scenarios that could go in either direction in 2021. If you're not aware of who the Simply Good Foods company is, it's a brand portfolio of two well-known consumer brands. First one being Atkins Nutritionals, the other one being Quest Nutrition. The brand portfolio did have strong sales in 2020, despite some of the trends in terms of product categories that they were in, maybe struggling a little bit, specifically nutritional or protein bars. But both brands do have a lot of products within like healthy snacking, functional snacking categories that are really attractive right now. The portfolio as a whole still has a relatively cheap market cap. I think it's somewhere around $3 billion. So for a strategic, they could potentially pick up that brand portfolio and integrate it into their business. Now, on the flip side of what I'm talking about, the Simply Good Foods company has talked extensively around how they want to be like the new Better For You portfolio. They want to be that Kraft Heinz, Better For You Kraft Heinz of the future, those types of things. And they do have really strong operators. They have a strong balance sheet. And because of that, that might mean that they go out and actually acquire a company to add to their portfolio. And if that's the case, I think they do add something that would be leaning towards probably like the plant-based category that maybe has platform product offering capabilities in the future.
As you can imagine, based on that content's timing, something might have had my brain in a stranglehold and influenced that prediction because the bar format of convenient nutrition is strongly tied to consumer mobility. The Great Shutdown in March and April 2020 caused a sharp decline in consumption. Moreover, continued restrictive living situations and work from home adjustments, along with the fact that health and wellness and then weight management fell to the wayside during that initial period, and suddenly the value propositions of protein bars were no longer the star of the convenient nutrition market. And then dollar sales declined, I think, somewhere around 6% year over year in 2020. So I've been alluding to this eat or be eaten phase of the Simply Good Foods company for the last like 3.5 years. But the eat part centered around the fact that the Simply Good Foods company proved to be one of the savviest large convenient nutrition portfolio companies that sold a lot of protein bars, outperforming the marketplace by quickly deploying a two-part survival strategy. The first and maybe the easiest strategic shift was by adjusting the marketing communications to essentially reframe the usage occasion, showing consumers that at home was the new on the go. The other strategic shift was tougher to pull off, especially for those convenient nutrition brands that didn't already have product innovations in market, but it prioritized high protein versions of more relatable snacking formats like cookies, chips, and confectionery that increased usage occasions, created incremental consumption, and provided new customer acquisition opportunities. Does that sound like the catalyst for the now extremely powerful Quest Chips product line? But only a few days after posting that Simply Good Foods company prediction, the company released an earnings report, and then CEO Joe Scalzo dropped some details on the conference call that I turned into another more detailed prediction, mostly exploring plant-based protein convenient nutrition names I thought made the most sense.
The integration of Quest Nutrition is almost done at this point. They're getting cost synergies. They're getting a lot of things that are going to help the business. So why not go out and search for somebody else to integrate into this business? I think that's always been the plan for the team at Simply Good Foods Company. So an acquisition is honestly a very strong possibility. So who are they potentially looking for? And actually, the Simply Good Foods company did mention some of the things that they were looking for in the business. One is that they're looking for something that fits into their supply chain, fits into their front-end customer standpoint. They'd also like this to be a strong brand affinity, something that's known in the market. They'd like this business to have sales of at least 75 or $100 million. So they're not looking for a small startup. They need somebody that's more mature, someone similar to Quest and Atkins Nutritionals, because they do not want to like foster like a small growth brand at this point. They don't believe that that is going to be where their strengths are at. So to me, I was thinking like, what could be 5 names that maybe make sense? First one being Vega, and one that I mentioned a few times. I think plant-based is a missing part of the Simply Good Foods company. I know that Danone wants to sell Vega or has been in conversations to sell Vega. So that fits the mold in terms of what potentially that could fit very well into the Simply Good Foods company. I also think a similar brand like OWYN could be somebody that would work really well in the portfolio. A little bit different, maybe more connected to like keto or maybe like the biohacking type of side of keto would be Bulletproof. That could be a brand that could be interesting. I think another kind of plant-based brand that's really strong in RTD beverages could be OWYN, or Only What You Need.
Well, geez, right? For those that hate me taking victory laps on my correct predictions, close your eyes and ears because I'm going to enjoy this one. For those that haven't seen last week's headlines yet and are confused, the Simply Good Foods Company announced that it had entered into a definitive agreement under which it will acquire Only What You Need, or OWN, for $280 million in cash. For my finance people that enjoy knowing the deal specifics, that purchase price represents a multiple of approximately 2.3 times estimated 2024 net sales and 13.3 times estimated adjusted EBITDA, including the run rate synergies. But before we get into why the Simply Good Foods company dug up my old content to find its next acquisition, how about I give some quick details on OWN, because it might be a convenient nutrition brand that doesn't always jump off the page, even though it should. In 2017, OWN was founded by a husband and wife team that were former professional athletes and fitness enthusiasts. Seeing a gap in the protein beverages market, they created a product that delivered enough plant protein and the right combinations of amino acids for muscle building and repair, plus enough calories to provide sustainable energy during workouts and training. In that same year, CPG legend, I mentioned before, Jason Cohen, and longstanding partner Clearlake Capital invested in OWN and helped fill key management positions with people who had deep industry experience, one of which, Mark Olivieri, was arguably the most impactful. He led the brand marketing that evolved the brand purpose of OWN to stand for truth and transparency, and positioned OWN as not just another plant based option, but as a riskless plant based option. He built a strategic narrative around the belief that detrimental health impacts of overclaiming and under testing is not just a marketing issue, but also a social issue. Mark Olivieri would eventually become president and then CEO in August of 2021, leading them through a few key investment transactions and staying true to that quest to fuel bodies with the cleanest nutrition, thus turning OWN into a powerhouse brand across multiple sales channels, product formats, and pack types. In fact, within the last 52-week period ending March 24th of 2024, OWN is the fastest growing RTD protein shake brand in the market, growing 10 times more than the categorical average. Why I said OWN gets slept on too much within the protein category is they are in the early phase of building a truly distinctive brand that has increasingly mainstream appeal with a highly engaged, passionate core customer. But let's talk about why, beyond these brands like strategic narrative stuff, I thought OWN was a strategically compelling mergers and acquisitions opportunity way back in 2021, and why Simply Good Foods Company finally saw the light now. First and foremost, OWN aligns with the Simply Good Foods portfolio platform strategy of being committed to providing its consumers with quality products focused on high protein, minimal sugars, and low levels of net carbohydrates. Secondly, OWN reaches a new incremental consumer segment that's highly appealing demographically and psychographically, which strengthens the portfolio's category leading presence with retail customers. Next, OWN has a similar go to market model to the Simply Good Foods Company portfolio that should result in improved operating efficiencies, enhanced brand awareness, and increased distribution. Moreover, OWN has strong relationships with best in class retail customers in both tracked and untracked channels, including an impressive profitable and growing online business. Finally, OWN further enhances presence in the fast growing RTD shake segment, which has been a major component of Atkins Nutritionals for years and a big refocus of Quest Nutrition in 2024. It's important to note that while supply capacity has been tight over the recent years, OWN utilizes several of the same contract manufacturers as Simply Good Foods and has long term deals in place to meet growth expectations. And then one more kind of comment in regards to the supply side of OWN. I don't think the Simply Good Foods company is particularly concerned long term with pea protein pricing or availability of material after anti dumping tariffs against China were put into place earlier this year by the United States. With OWN becoming the third complementary brand of the Simply Good Foods company, what can we likely expect from the brand next? OWN will be run as a standalone business for about the first year, with my assumption the current CEO and leadership team would be staying on at least until the transition is complete. There are a few reasons for this approach, mostly stemming from Simply Good Foods wanting to keep most of its attention on the Atkins revitalization plan that's midstream right now. But even though OWN will act mostly independent over the next year, I wouldn't expect some outlandish overperformance from the $120 million in projected net sales number mentioned in the press release for 2024. This is mostly because the Simply Good Foods company is super disciplined in its growth plans and will only push into white space opportunities that align with its long term portfolio vision. It's very likely that Simply Good Foods will follow a similar integration process that it put into action after the deal for Quest Nutrition in mid 2019. That means this next year will be focused on Simply Good Foods getting OWN on its operating platform, ensuring significant cost synergies are fully captured across SG&A and supply chain. Simply Good Foods will also look to leverage the collective research and development team's knowledge to enhance core product performance and unlock white space growth opportunities in other forms. I wouldn't expect any big risky launches in 2024, but the OWN innovation pipeline should be very interesting heading into next year, which maybe is a good transition into the final topic I wanted to explore. What does this mean to the convenient nutrition competitive landscape? While I assume OWN will eventually get plant based protein versions of popular Quest and Atkins snacks and bar concepts, let's focus on the RTD beverage format. Should market leaders like Premier Protein, Fairlife, Core Power, and Muscle Milk be nervous? I mean, somewhat, but also CBG isn't a zero sum game, and the protein RTD beverage market has a lot of growth runway left. If we did consider a head to head battle scenario, despite its different protein sources, Premier Protein would likely face the most pressure because OWN is strong in multi pack and through the club channel. This will be especially true if or when Costco starts swapping Orgain for OWN. Outside of wholesale clubs, OWN will lean on Simply Good Foods as it has become the preeminent category leader and category advisor for its grocery and mass retailers within the nutritional snacking category. But don't get it all twisted on that information. I'm not saying that Premier Protein is going anywhere anytime soon because it is a powerhouse. And then to close the loop on considering the other head to head, or I guess 2-on-1 scenario with the Coke or Pepsi owned protein beverage brands, I just don't think Simply Good Foods plans to dive deep into DSD distribution on OWN or any of its branded protein beverages anytime soon. The portfolio generates about 10% of its total revenue from convenience stores, but that's mostly from Quest bars and snacks. That being said, I remember OWN did open select DSD markets a handful of years ago, and there's something intriguing about the OWN double shot protein coffee shakes against the backdrop of some direct protein and coffee competitor weakness. But I just wanted to end with some quick final thoughts. It's been about 5 years since the Simply Good Foods company announced it was acquiring Quest Nutrition. And it's what I said in those content pieces that still rings true today. The brand will be in great hands because the Simply Good Foods company team has deep CPG industry experience and are strong, disciplined operators. Truth is, I have a hard time seeing a near term future where OWN won't be at least double to triple its current size. as the product is superb to the point of taste and texture parity with milk proteins, and the brand intersects with several long term secular trends. And then, equally, I don't see a near term scenario where this is the only deal from the Simply Good Foods company, as it seeks to build a CPG mega portfolio that aligns with the nutritional norms of the future. But I hope you enjoyed this YouTube video. If you did, consider hitting that like button to support me. Also, help me get to my new short term goal of 4,000 subscribers by hitting that subscribe button. I'd love to see you join me on this journey, but we need to fix the fact that I think over 90% of you or so that are watching this YouTube video are not subscribed to this channel, and that makes me extremely sad. But I do want to thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.